Hi, I'm McKenna Wittmeyer here at the University of Akron. I'm an assistant professor of instruction, and I'm going to be talking to you today about how to create an online portfolio utilizing the website Wix.com. So you can see I have it open here, and it's just Wix.com. Really easy, simple hyperlink there. And here's the main screen. It says Start Now, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. Now, you have a couple options here. You can either create a new account, you can continue with Facebook, or continue with your Google account. Really up to you what you would like to do here. You can sign up if you want to use your Akron email address. The main concern here is what email you want your notifications from Wix to go to. For me, I'm going to use my Akron one. I already have an account set up because I utilize this website to manage different websites. So there you see my credentials show up. I'm going to hit login here. So once I log in, it's going to take me to the main dashboard, and I think this is probably the most confusing part. I'm not going to use introducing Wix events, so I'm just exiting that little pop-up there. They offer a lot of add-in features here at Wix.com, but there is an initial free option for creating a website, and that's really what we want you to do, is utilize that free option there. Don't pay for add-on services unless you absolutely decide you're going to use this permanently. Then I of course encourage you to add on anything you think you'll need. So this is the main dashboard. You can see my apps here. I don't really use any of these things because you can see up here on the left hand side where it says the website that I've already created that it's not published. That means that it's not live online. You can't find it anywhere. I can't send a link to anyone because it's not actually published to the internet. So it's not accessible. I'm the only person who can see it as an admin to the page. So you can manage your site from here, something you've already created, but we don't want to do that. We want to create a new site from scratch just so you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to go up to this add button. It's just a plus sign here in the right hand corner where it says create a new site. I'm going to click that, and it's going to take me to the website builder. So first thing it asks me is what kind of website do you want to create, and there's a lot of different options here, and this really should speak to what sort of content you're going to be sharing on your website. If you are a business, you're going to have commerce options, so things to purchase products or services from. Same with an online store. Maybe you're only going to be sharing images, so you want to share photography. Music would be more audio focused. I think probably the option we're all going to be looking at today is the portfolio and CV. So I'm going to click that here. And then from here, it gives you two options to build a site. First is the ADI, which is the Artificial Design Intelligence. This basically gives you a survey that you fill out. It asks you a bunch of questions about what you want to utilize the website for. And from there, we'll design a website for you based on those needs. The tricky thing with the ADI, if you use it, it's great because it's really personalized and customized to how you're going to utilize it. But it eventually needs to be migrated to the Wix editor so that you have the full editing capabilities, and that can be confusing to do. So I really encourage you to just start with the Wix editor. It's a lot easier, and it's really just like modifying a Word document. They have a really great interface for modifications. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Start with Wix Editor. And then they give you a bunch of templates. So these are all based on the portfolio and CV website template that we chose. But if you want to switch categories, they're back here. So we're not limited to just portfolio and CVs just because we chose that initially. We can always go back to these other categories over here on the left-hand side. But they give you a lot of great templates that you can take and make your own. And that's the biggest thing with choosing a template is they're very attractive. They've done a great job creating these, but you need to make sure that you personalize it to reflect who you are, because that's ultimately what a portfolio should be. It should be a reflection and extension of your work, of what's important to you, your values, what you plan to sort of lend to a job as yourself. So make sure when you're choosing these templates, it's something that can be modified to you specifically. So you can see there's a variety of templates and really beautiful templates. They have a lot of great stuff in here. You want to choose, again, something that's going to lend itself to your work. Maybe probably not going to do a photography portfolio if we're talking about writing elements. Same with an actress resume unless that's specific to what you're doing. They have online resumes, really great options here. videographer if you're going to do video, an architect portfolio, and all of these things can be modified once we go into them. So I'm actually going to go back to the first page, and I want to just choose something really simple. Let's choose the journalist CV, right? We're gonna focus on editing and creating a writing portfolio. So here you see the price is free. Yes, that's ideal. I don't want you to pay for anything, so make sure that you are choosing free options. And I have the option to either go in and edit or view it. So if you want to take a closer look at the templates, you can always view them before selecting them. And it'll actually pull them up in Wix. It takes a moment. When talking about browsers that are ideal for utilizing Wix.com, I always encourage you to refrain from using Safari and Internet Explorer. They're just not optimally compatible with Wix.com. Firefox and Google Chrome work really great. So you see it's having me decide whether or not I want to edit this site. I'm not ready to decide yet. I want to take a look. I can always go up to this button if I'm ready. But I want to look at what this template looks like and starts out with, see how I visualize my content in being here. One thing I like is it looks like it's one continuous scroll for the website, but I can always move down to different sections here on this right hand side. So navigation is a really important thing to look at when you're thinking about your online portfolio, because you want a potential employer to be able to get onto your website and find the information they're looking for. So always look at that navigation element. Is it easy to find? Does it make sense? Is it clear? Because they're going to be utilizing that to find information. So I want to make sure they can find out about my education or my work experience very easily. Ease of use, it should always be number one in creating a website. So I think this looks good. I can see it as sort of a placeholder for my information. You know, there's a lot of different elements here. Right? I can fill in my blog post if I want. So I'm going to go ahead and click edit. Now it's taking me to the Wix website editor. Again, this is the same page you'll see every time you go to modify something in your website. So we use it to initially create the website, but we also use it to maintain, update, and add new content to our website. When we go on to launch it, publish it, and make it live, we're always going to be incorporating new content, because that's another important part about having a website is you always want to keep fresh content up there. Make sure that you're continually updating it so it's the most recent versions, because this is a really easy thing to just include a link on a resume and they can go and view your portfolio before you even get to the interview. So some of these things are really clear and easy to understand. See, this is a text box here. I can hit edit text, and it's going to allow me to choose the font size, colors. If I want to apply effects, I can even get into things like spacing. And that's all just from clicking into that text box there. Maybe I want to change the name, so I'm double clicking here. I'm not Jessica Preston, so I'm going to be McKenna Wittmeyer, right? I'm not an aspiring journalist. I'm assistant professor of instruction. So really easy to use. I mean, this is just like you would modify things in a Word document. You want to pay attention to these dotted lines here on the left and right hand side. Those are your margins, so we want to keep things within those margins. That also makes sure things show appropriately when people access your website, both mobilely and online. And we can change out images. Right here, I just clicked on the image, change image. And look, I can add images in. Here's something I already have. Oh wow, that's a giant version of my face. Whew, maybe I don't want that. You can choose social images, so if you want to import things from Facebook, Instagram, Dropbox, Google Drive, Google Photos, really, really useful. But then I scroll down and I can modify all of this text. I can move things around. It's really just a drag and drop situation, which is really nice. It also will tell you margins and when things are aligned. See, it's telling me this is centered. So if you like things nice and symmetrical, this is really useful for that. But some of the most important things to know about Wix is how to add additional elements in that weren't in the template. The templates are great, they have a great starting point, but how do I add in things that I need to add specific to what I'm using Wix for, right? So go figure, you're going to go to this add button here. And the add button has all the different types of elements you can add into your website. We have images, if you want to do a gallery show here, where they have all of the images sort of set up. A slideshow allows you to have scrolling images on your website. Adding buttons, so those things you click to lead people around your page. Again, thinking about usability and navigation. If you want to add boxes, strips, shapes, video, you can add video from YouTube, Vimeo, Dailymotion, Facebook. You can also upload video to Wix. You will need to add one of their video apps, which we'll talk about how you add apps later on if you plan to use a larger video because of the file size. You can also add music. I do ask you, unless you're focusing your portfolio on something having to do with music, that you refrain from including audio that auto plays on your page, just because it can be really annoying. There's nothing worse than sitting in a public location with your sound on and you go to a website and it starts auto playing some sort of music. That's really embarrassing. So refrain from doing that, but it might be situationally appropriate for your portfolio. You can also add your social bar to link to your different social media. You should know at this point that employers will absolutely check all of your social media before they invite you to an interview. So don't hide it, just link to it. Make sure that your social media channels are all appropriate for a job. I mean, you should be really curating what you post to the internet because it's all permanent. So you can always link to those things as well. You absolutely want to have a contact section. Most templates will already have a contact section built in, but you want to make sure that an employer can get a hold of you. So make sure you're putting all of your information out there and that it's accurate information. Adding different menus. This is, again, those navigation bars, really helpful. We want to make sure people can get around our website. If you want to add lists, really great for sharing blog posts where they have the image and then a link to the story. Light boxes. Incorporating a blog, a store, and then even more things. So if you need to link to your PayPal, webmaster logins, all of that stuff. Another thing I talked about with the additional items is adding things from the app market. Wix has a lot of different apps incorporated with the web designer that you can use to incorporate into your portfolio, your website, to make it just more rich in content, and it'll help keep you have a channel where you can keep content fresh and updated, because you always want to have new content featured on your site. So some of the featured apps they have here are a PDF viewer. So you can embed and display PDF documents directly on your site. So if you're choosing to have some of your design elements exported as a PDF, or maybe you want to export all of your articles, this would be really great to add to your website so that you can actually view those PDFs directly on the website. They don't have to download things, open things. I always encourage you to share documents as a PDF, because you know that's the portable document format, which means it preserves all of the formatting that you've already created in the document, which means nothing's going to happen to it in terms of looking screwy, characters not displaying, margins not looking correct. The PDF will preserve those. So always, save those PDFs, and that's what you should be emailing, and that's what your resume should really be formatted in. So that would be a useful app to have. Maybe you want to load your Instagram feed directly to your website. This would actually push all of your Instagram posts to your website, keep fresh content. Obviously, you want to make sure it's content that's appropriate. If you need to incorporate a form, a gallery, but you can also search for things. So I talked about having a video. So all I did was search video, and here, Wix Video app, I just hit add it to the site. You can see it's free. There are premium options. That means you can pay to add additional features. That's pretty much true for all of the apps in the app market. There's additional things you can add in for cost. But look at all of these different options for possible things you can incorporate. Really, really useful. And all you do is hit add to site. And because I was clicked into work experience, it's actually replacing that with the content. And I can always hit Command Z if you're on a Mac or Control Z if you're on a PC to undo it. All of those commands work here, which is really nice. And then the last thing to know about adding documents and adding different features to your website is the My Uploads button. This is where you add different things like documents. So documents you've created in the past that you want to add to your website to feature on your portfolio. Makes a lot of sense. You would go to Docs here. So I went to that little cloud button, Docs, and then I can just upload my documents. Right, so it's going to go and take me to my actual desktop where I can scroll things in. Here's a project I did in the past. So I'm going to hit open. See, it's a pretty big file, 13 megabytes. And it's uploading it here. And the nice thing is once things are uploaded to Wix, it'll store them for you on the cloud, so you always have access to them. Even if you remove the elements from the website, they will be stored in that all media folder, which is really nice. So now it's a PDF. I hit add to page, and there it is. There's my PDF. Now it's important to note that this has just created a link to that all media file. So if you happen to delete that document out of your all media folder, it will destroy the link to it. So this would no longer work. But now I have my file. I can always hit change file if I need to replace it with a different file. Or maybe I want to change what this actually looks like. So what I did was hit this settings button here. Again, you can change the file if you need a link to a different file or a more recent version. But I can also change the icon. So maybe I want it to look more like something similar to how I've themed my website, but they have all these icons already available to you, readily made, they're free to use. I know I'm using a PDF, so I want to use a PDF icon just so they know that that's the file type. But look at all of these different options here. Right? So really nice, PDF. I hit apply, and now it's updated it. Again, you can also go to design, change it here. Really useful. The thing is, now it's just a PDF icon. We don't know what it is. So maybe I want to add a text box, small heading, and I'm going to say this is the 1100 Nagel booklet, so that anyone using my site now knows what that is, right? Another way to do it, and this one's a little bit more advanced, is to go into settings, and again go to change icon, and you can actually upload images. So if you wanted to upload a JPEG of what that booklet looks like, you could do that, but you have to have a JPEG saved of it. Most PDFs can actually be exported to JPEGs to give you that little preview button. I haven't done that yet for this file. That's, again, a little bit more advanced. But maybe I want to include an element that's being showcased on it. So I'm going to use this Avon Arial, right? The PNG. Hit open. And you can see now it's changed that folder to My Images, right? And there we see just my face and then the Avon Arial. I've selected that image. It's got the blue box around it and a check mark. Hit apply. And now it's changed that to that image. So it could be a preview of your news release. It could be a preview of a media advisory. Or you could just keep it as a Word doc with the title, whichever works well for your portfolio. Maybe you want to have it actually embedded in a PDF. A lot of different options for adding documents on here, which is really nice. But I want to go to preview, which actually allows me to preview what the website looks once it's live. Right? And I've just sort of added it in the corner here for now. But what happens when I click this here? right? I've clicked on that icon. And it's opening it up in the viewer. Again, this is a bigger file, so it takes a little bit longer. And here we see that booklet. So really useful. The biggest thing I encourage you to do when working with Wix, and I'm going to go back to the editor here, but you can also preview mobile, which is really nice. And remember that a lot of people are always accessing websites on their phone. Not a lot of people actually use PC anymore. The biggest thing with Wix is just to explore everything that it offers. There's really a lot of options here. When you want to add a page, right now I only have a home page, a blog page. Just hit add page. Maybe I want this to be a contact page. And now you can see it's added it automatically to my top menu header, which is really nice. And now I can bring in content. So go to that add bar there. Go to contact. There we go. You can resize things, which is really nice. Right? Maybe I want to add an image here too. Just going to add image. My image uploads. And it always takes you to that all media. Add to page. And just really easily move things around, shift sizing so everything sort of aligns and looks nice and cohesive. Very easy to use. I hope that you've found this lecture helpful about how to use Wix.com. I can't encourage you enough to just get on, start using it, and from there I'm sure you'll encounter more questions. The help discussions are really helpful. You can always search things that you're looking for it to specifically do. If you want to upgrade, add additional sites, you can always modify your tools. This site will help you go to other things like publishing the site. Again, it's up here too. Remember, once it's published, it's live, it's out there on the internet. You can always deactivate it, but publishing means it's out there. And then always make sure that you're saving your work. There you go, my site's saved. Always make sure you're saving your work. You can see it allowed me to modify my Wix site domain there, but really useful to use, easy to use, and just take advantage of this awesome free resource.